Hello! Contentious Top Tens are back, everybody. Yay! Sorry this is like a couple days late. We were going to film this on Saturday. I need to film on this. As you can see, it's a slightly different camera. As you can see, it's a little zoomed in and everything.
Yeah, we ran out of time, and then...
Yeah, battery was dead. I had to charge it completely from scratch. I'm like, I need more than just 2 hours of battery life.
Then we're going to do it on Sunday, but plans changed.
Yeah, especially since my vehicle is in the shop, so I couldn't go get her. She now has a car, so she can come get me, but we're still at my house. So yes, Contentious Top Tens is back. We are going to talk about the top 10 90s kids shows. I decided not to limit this to animated because there are a lot of fantastic animated shows. But it's like trying to say, oh, well, this one show, because it's live action, does not count for one reason or another. Which I don't like that. I'm like, let's just include everything. Thankfully, I guess you could, if you want to, you could include Angela Anaconda in that. Because she's like sort of cartoon stop motion shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's considered animated.
Yeah. Technically, I like to forget Angela Anaconda ever existed, but
Yeah, well, researching this, I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot about that. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, there were a lot of times like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, and oh my god, oh yeah. Just,
Yeah, like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, I think is what it's called.
Something.
With Tim Curry as the voice of the villain.
He voiced a lot of villains back in the day.
Yeah. Yes. I will warn you, we might have missed a few. That might be because, well, maybe we didn't like them as much as maybe you liked it. Or there's a good possibility we didn't remember, because there was actually a lot of shows to try to remember. There's some that I'm even thinking of right now. I'm like, I wish I could have included on the list, but maybe we'll do like another version of this again later on. Maybe we'll do an addition to it. Make it to top 20 then at that point. But hey, enough vamping along. We're going to go ahead and start us off. And I will start us off since I was the one that chose this particular list.
Take it away.
For the honorable mention, we have to have the always nigh unforgettable Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Why is that only an honorable mention, though?
There is a good reason. Because for me, the reason... how I'm trying to put this in the best way. What determines it can make the list is the entirety of the show. I am talking about every bit of the show that I have seen or can remember. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has 3 really great first seasons. Then we go to Zeo, which I actually liked, even though it's kind of a... Looking back on it, it has some flaws, I will fully admit, especially the Gold Ranger saga and how they did over David Yates. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name. Mostly because of the harassment they kept doing to him and also the dickery they did to him anyway, contractually.
Contractually?
Yeah. There we go. Words. Wait.
And you had no problem with anthropomorphic earlier.
Yeah. Anthropomorphic I had no issues with. I could just spout it out like it's any normal word. But Zeo had its faults and everything. But then there's Turbo. Turbo is terrible. Turbo, looking back on it, is still terrible.
Well, just even seeing the movie, it's like, it's cars, and like, just shit, it's like...
Shift into Turbo. Ugh.
It's like, this is just terrible. It's like, this is not Power Rangers. This is... Power Rangers get their driver's license.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so freaking lame.
Well, it really didn't help that the original Sentai it was based on was a comedy Sentai. It was meant to kind of poke fun of Super Sentai. And they said, oh, let's adapt that one. Because that makes sense. And they try to make it very serious at times, too. Like, as you can guess with the ending of Turbo and... Oh, what's his name? The stupid guy. Oh, no, that should do. I'm almost doing his voice word for word. He worked alongside Diva Talks I can't remember his name.
Yeah, the one guy I think I know.
He has a sword and it's made of cards. Like Old Thor or something like that. Lothor.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, he also helps to make Turbo really terrible. And that's the problem. That's the reason why I can't rate this higher. Even though there is the greatness of In Space, there is the terribleness of Turbo that really bogs it down. And not only that, but Power Rangers has lasted all the way up to this particular era, and I'm still pissed off at Megaforce. Megaforce was such a disappointment in terms of a season. So I'm kind of torn on being able to include this very much higher, especially since it had some really good early seasons, and since then it's had a few very good seasons in between. Time Force was really damn good from what I've seen. Operation Overdrive? Is that what it is? Or is it RPM? I can't remember. People are going to start yelling at me. But it was the one where it was set into a post-apocalyptic world. That one was fantastic. Not the one that is the other one that has similar themes. But everything since then, there's been a lot of middling. And that's the biggest problem. Power Rangers has never been able to ascend to its true heights anymore. It's gotten very close, but it's never
very
there.
Not stock character. That's not the word I'm thinking of.
It's very inconsistent at times. That's
I'm talking about like the characters, from what I've heard, are very. I think from what you've told me, like the characters, like the Rangers themselves, are just very. Not stereotypes. They're like archetypes.
Yeah, especially in Megaforce.
Like you have the smart one, you have
the sports one, you have the tough girl, the pretty girl, then you have the leader. Yeah. And boy, was Troy a sucky ass leader. It didn't help the guy really couldn't act real well, but Megaforce makes me so sad. It's almost as bad as Turbo.
Power Rangers doesn't exactly attract, the world's finest actors.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Whenever you compare him to everybody else, he is leagues below them. That's the worst problem. The worst actors they had were better than Troy. And that's just a problem. You can't have your lead be one of the worst actors there is. Or you can always have Jason, who just has a horrible incapability of speaking clearly. Tommy, let's can this bitch. You mean fish, Jason?
Yeah,
Kid show.
Let's can this fish is what he says.
Yeah, it really sounds like bitch.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost what? Yeah.
Yeah, just to let you know, Power Rangers is on my list.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm including just 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
So I'm including the entire series, and that's the problem. That's the reason why it always gets so low.
Yeah, it's I stopped watching regularly during season 3, and then was it Zeo with the Machine Empire? I stopped watching altogether.
Yeah, see, it's bad. They really promised that Rita and Zed were going to come back at the end of Zeo. We're back, baby.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same without Rita and Zed. That and I hate change. So.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. So, what was
my
honorable mention?
The Magic School Bus. It's such a cute little show. And, it was actually rather educational.
Oh, yeah. It actually taught a lot, even though, some of the science was preposterous.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those shows, it's you learn stuff, but you either don't notice or you notice, but you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's so entertaining. And I loved the teacher, Miss Frizzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's I loved her. She was so eccentric. Just dance to the beat of her own drums. I love characters like that. That's the kind of person I want to be.
See, I
try to be.
See, I would have included it, but it got to where, the final season or two was just getting really, reaching for stuff. For Magic School Bus, it was starting to reach. I was okay. I had a whole episode devoted to bats.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been ages since I've seen that show, but what I remember, it was enjoyable. And I really relate to the one character. Was it Ralph? The curly-headed kid. He's always kind of accident prone.
Oh, the kid with glasses?
Yeah. I can't remember if he had glasses or not.
I think Ralph was the kid with the hat. That always had his hat on backwards. I can't remember.
No, I think that's another guy. But
surprise, surprise.
But yeah.
He has a different name if it's not him.
But But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Ralph. And yeah, I really related to him because he's like so accident prone. It's like, yeah, that was me as a kid, and that's still me as an adult.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's gotten better or worse as an adult. Sad
Me
part.
either.
Well, you didn't know me as a kid, to be fair.
Yeah, I knew as a teenager. It was close enough. So, shall we move on?
Yeah, so what's your number one?
My number
Your
one?
number
No,
10.
I ain't skipping that far ahead.
Oh, shh.
My number 10's gonna piss you off.
Oh.
My number 10's Big Bad Beetleborgs. I know everybody is screaming
I never
right now.
saw that, I don't think. If I did, I don't remember.
I really loved Big Bad Beetleborgs, and I know people are like, how can you put that over Power Rangers? It had 2 fantastic seasons built up with some really good character development, some not super smart, but still not super stupid bad guys, a really cool premise, especially considering to me, I am a kid who loves comic books. My comic books coming to life just sounds awesome. And not only that, but it had such a kick-ass theme. It's almost as memorable as that of the Go-Go Power Rangers theme. Him in the Big Bad Beetleborgs. I always remember that and singing it in my head. You will know if I am like trying to figure something out because I was humming it to myself, just trying to figure it out. But I know it seems sacrilege to put technically what Power Rangers spawned above Power Rangers. But to me, its 2 seasons were better than the inclusion of the entirety of the Power Rangers series. It still has its problems. It is aged all shit. It does not age well at all. It's like, whoa. And it does not help the series ends on a cliffhanger. Because they were going to make more. It was actually a super popular show. But hey, guess what? No more Sentai footage. You have to make it all yourself. It's like, shit. It's not as bad as what I learned with VR Troopers. There was actually the guy who did the Gold Ranger in Zeo was voiced by the same guy as the leader of the VR Troopers group. He was actually going to be the Gold Ranger. And they were going to bridge together VR Troopers and Power Rangers to help describe, or kind of say it's like the VR Troopers in a way, I think, were fighting the Machine Empire. And that's the reason why the Gold Ranger is there. Instead of it just being some random dude. And that would have been cool, but they decided not. Because contracts.
Yeah, it didn't turn out to be some alien prince or something.
It was some guy who had 3 personalities. And then he had to bond together with Jason for reasons. Oh, Zeo's weird. Yeah.
Like I said, I stopped watching after, during Zeo.
Yeah.
First couple episodes, okay, what happened to my reading said? They not coming back?
You didn't watch the end of, you didn't watch the first episode really close in. The Machine Empire kicked them out in all essence.
Well, I know that. That's what pissed me off. It's like, no! No!
She can't accept them being gone.
And also the villain music's like...
Oh, I actually like the villain theme.
I can maybe appreciate it now that I'm an adult, but it's like at times no, this is not what I'm used to. Fight me. like I said, I hate change. It just...
Yeah, but I'm sorry if I pissed off y'all, but Big Bad Beetleborgs, I think its 2 seasons are better than the entirety of Power Rangers, really up and down 25 seasons. That's why I'm comparing. That's just why I say Big Bad Beetleborgs better. Power Rangers at its highest, if you just include just its highest, is better than Big Bad Beetleborgs. But if you include all the lows, it takes it lower than Big Bad Beetleborgs. Technically.
So want to hear my number 10?
Yeah, what's your number 10?
All That.
All That was a show that was good at the beginning and became
really just
shit in the last few seasons.
Yeah, it really kind of got ridiculous. Like Saturday Night Live, which is based on.
The biggest problem was they started to change, not really the showrunner, well, of course showrunners, but they changed some of the producers and some of the writers, and the writing got to be very juvenile. Is the problem. Well, when it first started, it was fun for what it was.
Yeah, I like the concept, Saturday Night Live for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Even launched the career of Kenan Thompson, who currently is on, or no, not anymore, on Saturday Night Live. Is he?
I think he's still on there.
I don't know. I have not watched Saturday Night Live in forever because it hasn't really been that funny.
Yeah, he's still on there. Because I remember he did an episode with Tom, or they had an episode with Tom Hanks where he was the host of Black Jeopardy. People are like, it's so funny. I sat there and watched it for 5 minutes. I'm like, I left it like 2 jokes. The rest of it was pretty terrible. Yeah, all that is actually pretty funny show. I think the just issues with me is just its last hurrah was really rough.
Yeah, I also launched the career of Amanda Bynes in one of the later seasons.
And technically it also launched the career of Kel Mitchell. For good or bad.
Yeah, well,
Nothing against Kel. I like Kel.
Yeah, people don't really remember Kel from All That and Kenan and Kel.
Yeah. But don't you remember his super memorable role in Battle of Los Angeles? The Asylum knockoff?
No, never seen
Yeah, he's in that movie.
If you say so.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's like one of their main stars. Him and Jaleel White do a lot of stuff with Asylum. I think it's like, well.
I guess Steve Urkel's desperate for money nowadays.
Yeah, a little bit. So, more you want to say about with all that? Or is that all that?
The puns.
The puns are coming out. They're coming out to play.
Come back on cigarettes, honey.
So, should I go to my number 9?
Yeah.
My number 9 is going to confuse people because I don't know if many people remember this show. I remember it, and it was one of the reasons I kept watching Snick. And its cancellation is one of the reasons I quit watching Snick as ardently. And that is...
Those that are too young to remember Snick, Saturday Night Nick.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
It was glorious.
Yeah, you could have found a lot better lineup of stuff once they got rid of Roundhouse.
I just didn't mind Roundhouse.
Somebody had to. Roundhouse was random. That was my big issues with it. It's like, oh, suddenly random dancing moment. Cool. Happened out of nowhere.
The big lipped alligator moment.
Yeah, the big lipped alligator moment.
So I was trying to say,
But mine premiered in fall of 96, went through to 97, and that is Space Cases. God, I love Space Cases.
I loved it too. It only lasted like a couple seasons.
Yes. It is, I think, the perfect Star Trek for kids to bridge themselves actually into Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because, I really wasn't much of a Star Trek fan as a child because it was a little obtuse, especially since I was trying to get into it via Next Generation.
Yeah, same here. It's like I watched a little bit of Next Generation, Deep Space Nine growing up. Really got into the reruns later on. But, yeah, I think Space Case kind of kicked off for me as well. The love of sci-fi.
Yeah, because...
Especially when done well.
Yeah, and it's actually a show that could pull at your heartstrings. Like the final bit of that show when the captain, I believe he died or he got lost into the time ether or something. Mm-hmm. It's bad the show, like many kids shows of its era, ended on a fucking cliffhanger.
Because they expected to come back and then...
Yeah, and they never told them. They was like, here, no, we ain't renewing you. Why? And that's the reason why... Because Space Cases, one, it doesn't look real good nowadays. I've seen some of the effects. I'm like, oh, they don't look good. But it's still...
And some of the makeup, like the android lady.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what her name was.
Yeah.
It's like...
It looks a little funky.
Yeah.
But when its humor was done well, it was incredibly well. When its action was done well, it was insanely well done. You couldn't have found one of the better sci-fi shows geared towards children that wasn't anime without going to Space Cases. And that's the reason why it's sad. It got canceled. It's like, oh, I want more Space Cases.
I still remember the theme song.
Yeah.
And it had the Black Ranger, the original Black Ranger from Power Rangers. Can't remember, like Walter's. No.
Yeah, his name's Walter.
Yeah. Or was that his character name, or was that...
No, his character's name was Zach.
Yeah. This is gonna be... What the hell is the actor's name? But...
So fun.
Yeah, the original Black Ranger. And for those that watch General Hospital, Lee, that currently plays Elizabeth, she was on the show in the second season as that one chick, Susie's imaginary friend, or
yeah, and you learn she
Susie
actually
the imaginary friend. I can't remember.
You actually learn she's not actually imagined.
Yeah, she's like just in a different dimension. And at the end of the first season, she gets pulled into our dimension, and was it Catalina, the rainbow-haired chick?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, she gets pulled into Susie's dimension.
And that's actually a really rough part, because if I'm not mistaken, like, reason why that happens because they were like they're going through this like time portal or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And it almost, really, you thought she was dead. It was like, no.
And this lady's like talking to him, like, who the hell are you? It's like, oh, I'm Susie. It's like, okay, so you're not imaginary after all. Good to know.
His name is Walter Jones. Walter Emmanuel Jones, to be exact.
Okay.
I've got it right here on my phone.
That was right with Walter.
Yeah.
How the hell do I remember that?
It was a fantastic show, and I miss it so much. I wish we would have got just finality. That's what I would have loved from
Closure.
it. Yeah, some closure from would have been awesome. But hey, nothing about me gushing about Space Cases. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is another Nickelodeon show. Legends of the Hidden Temple. God, I love that show. It's like, I don't know a single kid who didn't want to be on that show.
But then you remember your own, like, physical limitations. You're like, no.
Like doing the stuff like to get across the thing, so you can actually answer the questions. It's like, I would have killed on the questions, like just getting across to be able to answer them. Not so much. And doing some of the physical stuff, like...
Here, swim through this lake of piranhas.
It's like... See ya. Because I would have killed at the answering questions and at the going through the temple. Because it always killed me. It's like, okay, why are you going like the most backwards like route? I know you're trying to avoid the temple guards, but it's like, go on the most straightforward route. Now, otherwise you're just wasting time.
And also, you always like when they get to the shrine of the silver monkey. It doesn't fit on here.
Yeah,
He's got backwards. Spin around, asshole.
Yeah, like trying to put like the body on first. It's like, no, you gotta put the head, or gotta put the feet in first, and then the body, and then
the head.
And then they put the head on backwards. And they're like, wondering why it's not doing it. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta put it on. It's like, freaking morons. Man, it's like, I would have killed at this show. If not for the physical stuff.
Yeah, Legend Hidden Temple is shit. I was almost a little preferable to Guts, but that was only because Guts was a lot more stuff. And I'm a boy. I like me some action.
Yeah, I like that show too. It's like I always thought it's like I can maybe do that. Could I do that? No, like just maybe kind of things like. It's like I want to be on this show. That's so cool. Yeah, climbing the...
Aggro crag?
Yeah, I was like, that probably wouldn't have been too big of a problem for me. Everything else, no.
Well, until you include
it's not a physical kid.
Until you include in the aggro crag when I saw one episode when it hit this one thing. It's like, oh, it spewed lava. It just shot glitter all in this kid's face. And brrr, they get to the top, face is silver. Like, wow, you look like you just came out of a rave. I got broke her.
Just
Want to go to my number 8?
Yeah.
Oh, my number 8. I will let everybody know. I don't care about this reboot that's going to be happening soon. or when they rebooted it after they originally ended it. And that is Powerpuff Girls. I know people are like, it's so girly. It's not very girly. It's actually really freaking violent. They're constantly breaking monsters in half and beating literally the snot out of them. And I love superheroes. I am a Deadpool, for crying out loud here, y'all. Yeah, Deadpool. Captain America I loved, Fabulous Superman, fuck itself, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I love to see 3 kids, and even if they're little girls, going around beating ass and just being awesome, who were, about the time maybe a little younger than I was, but still, why wouldn't I love this? This is straight up my alley.
Well, did y'all like the fact that they were like these cute little girls, just...
Nah, I didn't care one way or
well, like they were cute little girls, but then they can turn around and kick your ass.
Nah,
like very like appearances can be deceiving kind of thing.
I just like the fact they were superheroes. I thought that was cool. I love the idea of superheroes. I love when they are done well. I like that they sometimes would explore themes that would be a little bit more, you would think, childish, but sometimes something a child can relate to, such as feeling like a bit of an outcast amongst even your family. There's a few other different things, like being slightly different. Though they never really went more into how their powers were different and everything, except for maybe Bubbles. In fact, she could talk to squirrels. Though I think really it's that she can speak any language. Because she could also speak Spanish. It was actually kind of cool. I love the show. The semi-reboot when they originally canceled it after one really fantastic episode, similar to what they did with Dexter's Laboratory. Which sadly did not make my list. But after they let it die, let it have a good send-off, they brought it back and it was nowhere near as good. But that's neither here nor there. The original series, it was fantastic, even though they tried to run into the ground by just, let's pull Dexter's Laboratory with it. So yeah, Powerpuff Girls. Awesome. Awesome tacular.
Yeah, I never watched Powerpuff Girls or Dexter's Laboratory, so...
You miss out.
Don't really have anything to add there, so... Shall we move on?
Yeah.
My number 8. Doug.
I have watched Doug lately, just to try and reminisce. Boy, has that show not aged well.
I still like it. And the, Beatles, band, they like the beats.
The beats. It still has not aged worth a dick.
I think it's aged pretty well, personally.
The problem is, I think Nostalgia Critics hit the nail on the head the best. That it's just a show about a kid going through middle school and dealing with mostly normal kind of things.
Yeah, I even saw the Disney.
Yeah.
When Disney took over. I even watched that. It wasn't as bad as you would think. But it's still, not as good, not as memorable as the original series.
I think the big problem with the Disney one was just that there were too many episodes that really tried to make it more a cartoon. There were whole episodes devoted to Quail Man. Yes, I remember Quail Man, people. And that's the problem when you try to make a show that really wasn't like that. It was actually more just about him sometimes daydreaming about Quail Man or anything.
Well, only episode from the Disney one that I remember is everyone's chewing this one gum or eating this one snack, and they all get kind of addicted to it. And it's oh, come on, try it. And it's no, I'm good. Just pretty much doing a just say no to drugs kind of episode.
Hey, this is a drug PSA one.
Yeah, one of those thinly veiled, don't do drugs. They also did something like that with Recess.
Yeah, I never really watched Recess.
I loved Recess.
I will fully admit, I am not a huge Disney Saturday morning or weekday afternoon kind of guy. I was Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I didn't really watch Cartoon Network very much. I think except when they showed like Flintstones and Jetsons reruns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah.
But like I was more Nickelodeon and Disney Channel.
Yeah. We had a small little crossover with Nickelodeon there.
Yeah, at least that.
Yeah, I'm glad
we'll
you...
always have Nickelodeon.
Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed Doug. It's like, I kind of had more mixed feelings on it the more I've watched it as of late. Not that it's terrible, it's just, it's highly forgettable. I think
part of the reason why I like it is like, I kind of relate to Doug.
Well, yeah.
I mean, as I got older, I related a little bit more into Judy. I always thought she was like this melodramatic bitch. It's like, now I kind of, like, haven't been a teenage girl myself. It's like, yeah, I kind of understand. It's like, I understand the pain.
I understand your pain. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
But yeah, you're number 7.
To continue the Nickelodeon theme.
Yeah, there's like 5 Nickelodeon shows on mine.
I think I only have like 2 or 3. But that's just because like certain things like kick this off, kick that off. And also I have one that's going to piss off some people. My number 7, Rocko's Modern Life. I really wanted to put Ren and Stimpy. But Ren and Stimpy, sometimes its own absurdity kind of fought against it. Because of that, it's hard to always include it. It's kind of a problem. Mm-hmm. Its own absurdity got to the point to where it got so absurd, I started to lose the joke, even as a child. And even as a teenager watching it, I still could laugh at a lot of stuff. But I'm like, I really think I should be smoking something. Something should be in my system. I think I would understand this more.
I think the big appeal of Ren and Stimpy with me was that my mom didn't want me watching it. She thought it was like too gross.
It is very gross.
Like, yeah, it is, but it's like kind of like not supposed to be watching it. And also the kind of juvenile humor that it did. Well, it's like a combination of juvenile and adult humor. It's like I think that kind of appealed to me, even if I didn't always get the jokes.
Yeah. And
ever get the jokes, I think.
That's the... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
But I was just going to say, that's the reason why Rocko's Modern Life makes it up above Ren and Stimpy for me. And that's the reason why it makes it on my list. Because you get the grossness, but it's not super gross and super absurd to the point where you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, like there are some, kids jokes and pop culture references that you got at the time as a kid. Mm-hmm. But now that you're older, if you watch it, it's like there are some adult jokes that like, oh, okay, I totally did not get that. Mm-hmm.
Well, like the one episode.
Choky Chicken.
Yeah.
Like the Choky Chicken restaurant they go to.
Well, there's also the one joke whenever Rocco's car gets impounded and it calls him. And there's another truck by him. You get a pretty mouth. Holy shit, that's a rape joke. That's a prison rape joke.
Oh, that would never fly on TV nowadays.
Oh, yeah, that would
especially
get shut down.
Kids' cartoons, like, oh my god.
I laughed my ass off, actually. I thought it was hilarious when I was an adult. Like, heh. Also because it's so absurd to the point of, is it really bad that is a rape joke because it's a car raping another car? It's two inanimate objects. It don't happen. Yeah, there's a lot of hilarity from the show. I still laugh at it to this day. I watch it, and whenever I can, the splat's bad about not showing it. They usually like show Angry Beavers like crazy for some reason. Mm-hmm. I like Angry Beavers. Get tired of seeing it.
Angry Beavers, Hey Arnold,
and Rugrats a lot.
Rugrats. I love Rugrats.
I like Rugrats too.
Rugrats on my list.
I like Rugrats too. I'm just getting tired of seeing it.
Yeah, especially when they showed the later seasons with Dill and Kimmy.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like, we can do it. We just ignore those.
Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life. That was a fantastic show. All 4 seasons were fucking hilarious and well worth any bit of your time.
Yeah, now that I'm older, I'm turning into Ed Bighead. It's like such a grump. It's like, mm-hmm.
So, what about you? What about your number 7?
My number 7, Wishbone.
I wasn't a big Wishbone kid.
I love that show when I was a kid. Part of why I am such a big reader. That and Ring Rainbow, which I probably would have included on the list, but it was 80s. So.
I was saying 87.
80s, yeah, 87.
Yeah. See, A7 did pull out something good besides myself. So, you enjoyed the goofiness that is shorthand versions of famous stories, huh?
Yeah, pretty much like retelling these like classic tales, but with Wishbone and some actors dressed up and. I love that. It's like, you actually kind of made some of these stories come alive to me, and like I said, helped inspire my love of reading.
Yeah. Well, it helps that it really makes stories feel more epic and bigger than even what they actually are. Like, if you break down Moby Dick, there's not a whole lot that happens throughout it until they finally meet the fucking whale.
And yeah, to this day, there's still some classic stories that when I hear the title or hear what it's about, it's like
Imagine a beagle, or is it a beagle?
No, Jack Russell Terrier.
Yeah, Jack Russell Terrier in an outfit.
Imagine Wishbone, like acting it out. It's like, yeah. And fun fact, it was actually filmed right here in Dallas.
Yeah, I must say, 'cause you can hear some of these accents. You're from Texas, aren't you?
I wouldn't say we have accents, but then again,
A lot of people say I don't have accents, so. But if you're actual Texan people, you'll
have like a subtle accent, supposedly.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drawl.
One time my cousin Matt was my Uncle Matt was on the phone with somebody and they said, "Oh, by the way, I love your accent." And he told us that, and we're like, "What accent?" So
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wishbone I wasn't a big fan of, but it wasn't that I just didn't like it. I think I wasn't as big into reading as a kid, so it was my big issue. I was more of a science nerd. Mm-hmm. I mean, technically that's a form of reading, but I wanted to read more about, science and history and all that. Mm. But yeah, that's just my own thing. I'm not saying it's a bad show still. It's a fantastic show if it gets kids to read. Mm-hmm. Oh, but to totally go back off the rails here, because we need to have more cartoons back in our life.
What's your number 6?
My number 6, All Real Monsters. Let's just keep Nickelodeon theme on my list going. Yeah, All Real Monsters was a fantastically fun show. I own the entire series. I still chuckle the shit out of all these stupid jokes. There are some good innuendos here and there that are awesome.
That you don't get as a kid.
No, and then you watch, you go,
totally don't remember these adult jokes being in here.
Yeah, but then you're like, I guess they had to be in there.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, and also you have some of the great voice acting. I can't remember any of these 3 people that did the Ickis.
Crumb and Oblina.
Yeah, Oblina. I can't remember their names, but I know them. They did like Oblina, I want to say, helped did some of Cow and Chicken. I know she was also in Rugrats.
I would say she did the voice Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was also on Salute Your Shorts, playing the one counselor's girlfriend who was a male woman.
Yeah.
Mona.
Who just appeared every now and then.
Yeah.
I still remember Salute Your Shorts, people.
Oh. I'm going to tell you. Little...
Fun factoid.
A little tidbit about Salute Your Shorts. I actually saw an episode of Voyager like a couple weeks ago that had the counselor. I was like, oh my god, that's the counselor from I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, from Salute Your Shorts. It's like, that's interesting.
He had to get work still. There you go.
Like, good knowing he had still somewhat of a career.
Yeah. I think that's what he does nowadays, but it's like, well,
like Donkey Lips keeps popping up every now and then, like in Dude, Where's My Car?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, All Real Monsters, fantastic show, some great voice actors.
I would say we keep talking about Nickelodeon stuff, just getting off topic.
Nickelodeon's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Nickelodeon in its heyday was awesome. Nickelodeon nowadays is a little funky.
And it's shit.
Well, its biggest problem is that it's now relying more on bought properties than its own new IPs. Such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for good or bad. I have not watched the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Power Rangers even.
Yeah, I've not watched any Ninja Turtles beyond the original series that I grew up with. Everything else, just kiss my ass.
A little harsh, don't you think?
It's like, if it ain't the stuff I grew up on, kiss my ass.
But yeah, I was just going to say, rest about All Real Monsters. Yeah, you actually also have, of course, we have Tim Curry. Because he does the voice. Even though she wouldn't believe me, she thought it was the head monster.
Yeah, the teacher is like, no.
Yeah, and I even said, it's like, no, that's the devil or the red guy from Cow and Chicken. Because I know he has the same inflections and all that.
Never seen Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken was so fun, but damn does it not make a lick of sense.
Yeah, Cow and Chicken, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and all, like, a lot of stuff like that. It's like, I didn't really want.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was a show that really needed to only exist in the second and third season. I think it's only like 3 seasons long. Because first season wasn't that great. Next couple seasons were fantastic. There were some great sci-fi stuff.
Ed, and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie was funny if you knew friends like that. Like I had a few friends that were stupid like that. It's like, oh, I think I found my friends.
Well, I hope you're not still friends with them.
No, I haven't
don't
talked
touch
to them
them,
forever.
Oh, you better hope they don't find this.
Yeah. Oh, so what about your number 6?
My number 6, I don't know if I know he remembers this, sort of. But very few people remember the show on Disney Channel. So weird.
Oh, yeah, so weird. I sort of remember it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was a thing.
I loved that show when I was a kid. Even though it only lasted like 3 seasons. And the third one wasn't that great because the main girl left. I think to go to college or something.
Oh, damn her and her higher education.
Or like she was just tired of doing it or something, so they brought on another girl. It just wasn't as good to me.
Probably some of the writing changed. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it did have its moments in that 3rd season, but otherwise just... But, yeah. For those that don't remember, So Weird was a show on Disney Channel. Sure. This girl, Fiona, Fee for short, would travel around with her rock star mother, played by, Mackenzie Phillips? Mm-hmm. Yeah, known for
I'm looking at it if y'all wonder what I'm doing here.
Yeah, known for being on this one show from back in the day called One Day at a Time.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she used to be on that. I know my.
Yeah, one of my channel shows, reruns. Yeah, she traveled around with a rock star mom and her older brother Jack, I think his name was. That's what look it up.
I'm looking.
But yeah, she goes around the country just investigating paranormal stuff. Like there's aliens, there's ghosts, there's like witches and changelings and
aliens
and banshees and every once in a while her mom will like sing songs. Were actually pretty good. Like my favorite was from the Banshee episode, the song called The Rock. Talking partially about Ireland, partially about her turbulent relationship with her father as she was growing up, who was an Irish immigrant. And it's really a beautiful song. Unfortunately, it's like hard to find it without on like YouTube without the extra stuff going on around it.
Yeah.
I think there's also vampires in one episode. And supposedly they were going to reveal, if Fiona had stayed on there a bit more, they were going to reveal that in a past life, her older brother Jack was actually this knight charged with protecting her. And that's why he had chosen to be reincarnated as her older brother. So he could protect her.
Yeah.
Supposedly that's what they were going to reveal. But nope.
That's because of so many issues. It's probably just why So Weird got so canceled.
Yeah.
Oh well. So.
Love that show.
Well,
I still love that show. I would love to own that on DVD. Please, Disney Channel, release that on DVD.
Hey, you know they're not. They haven't even released the rest of Darkwing Duck. Or Gargoyles, for that matter.
Well, to be fair, season 3 wasn't that great.
Yeah, but you think they could just release the last 20 episodes? At least on 2 Blu-rays. They're done.
Yeah.
So I go to my number 5 now. My number 5. I had to decide between 3 different shows. I know technically people will include this supposed to be 4, but one of these shows I never watched that much. And eventually I went the first one of this trifecta, as I called it, the Steven Spielberg shows. because this is the one that still resonates the most in my mind. And that is Tiny Toon Adventures.
We're tiny,
We're toony, we're all a little loony. Now Disney's gonna take this video down. Oh, but
love that.
yeah, that is.
Especially that How I Spend My Summer Vacation video.
Mm-hmm. Even though you wouldn't include it on your best non-Disney anime movies, though technically now it's a Disney property in a way because Disney owns them. Or no, Warner Bros. Owns them. Fuck Disney. But yeah, it's a fantastic show. It still holds up to this day. There's still a lot of good comedy. Still a lot of fantastic animation. Great musical bits. Mm-hmm. And also